A match that could already decide the fate of two teams in Group E. And yet few would have imagined that at this stage of the competition, the balance would be so fragile for one of the nations involved. Because what is at stake here goes far beyond a simple group stage match. It is about sporting survival, an immediate need to respond, and perhaps even an irreversible turning point in the race for qualification. Ecuador comes into this match under enormous pressure after losing its opening game. A narrow defeat, but one with major consequences, because in such a tight group, every lost point can become a sentence. And on the other side, a team that many see as an outsider, but which refuses to play the role of the expected victim. Because Curaçao, despite a very difficult opening match against a strong opponent, has not lost everything. Yes, the scoreline was heavy. Yes, the defensive issues were clear. But there were also unexpected signs, especially the ability to keep playing, to keep searching for opportunities, and even to score despite the pressure. And in a competition where confidence can change a team's destiny, that kind of detail can become an important psychological starting point. Now the question is simple. Can this team turn a heavy defeat into a source of resilience, or will the logic of quality ultimately take over completely? On the other side, Ecuador has no choice. No calculations, no management, no middle ground scenario. They must win. Period. And this obligation completely changes the reading of the match. A team that must win never approaches a game the same way as a team that can settle for a draw. It means more intensity, more risk-taking, but also more space left behind. And that is exactly where the match can become dangerous, because Curaçao has nothing to lose, and a team with no pressure is often one of the most dangerous in counterattacks. In terms of gameplay, everything points to territorial dominance from Ecuador, more possession, a desire to control the tempo, to settle in the opponent's half, and to force Curaçao into a deep defensive block for long periods. But having the ball does not always mean controlling the match. The real challenge will be efficiency in the final third. In their first match, Ecuador already showed some difficulty in converting their dominant spells into goals. And in this kind of game, lack of efficiency can quickly turn into frustration and doubt. Curaçao, on the other hand, will likely accept to suffer. A compact block, tight lines, full focus on protecting their penalty area, and looking for quick transitions whenever an opportunity appears. Their plan is simple in theory, but extremely demanding in execution. They will need mental strength, physical endurance, and above all, they must not concede too early. Because against a team that presses from the start, the first 15 minutes can shape the entire match. And this is where the game's dynamic can shift. If Ecuador scores early, the entire scenario changes. Control becomes easier, spaces open up, and game management becomes possible. But if Curaçao holds firm and keeps the score level, tension will gradually rise on the Ecuadorian side. Legs become heavier, decisions more rushed, and the pressure of the result begins to influence every action. And in international tournaments, this kind of situation has already produced major surprises. Psychology must also be taken into account. Ecuador plays under the obligation to win, and that pressure can sometimes weigh more heavily than technical quality. Every missed chance becomes doubt. Every counterattack from the opponent becomes a warning, and every goalless minute increases overall tension. Curaçao, on the other hand, plays with a completely different mindset, almost free, with the possibility of turning this match into a historic achievement without immediate negative consequences. In the end, the sporting logic clearly favors Ecuador. More experience, more control, more structure in their play. But football is never purely logical. It is also decided in details, in moments of weakness, in individual mistakes, and in the ability to handle pressure at key moments. And that is exactly what makes this match so interesting. A favorite under pressure against an outsider with nothing to lose. A classic scenario on paper, but always unpredictable in reality. And if Ecuador wants to avoid turning this match into a sporting nightmare, they will have to do one essential thing: score early, impose their rhythm, and above all, never allow Curaçao to believe that anything is possible. Otherwise, the match could quickly enter a far more dangerous zone than expected. And now, the only real question left is this: will Ecuador live up to expectations and deliver at the decisive moment? Or are we about to witness one of the biggest shocks in the history of the competition from Curaçao?